3,500 years before a therapist ever said, "Let's reframe that thought." A god said the exact same thing to a warrior who was having a panic attack on a battlefield. The warrior was Arjuna, the therapist was Krishna, and their conversation, the Bhagavad Gita, is the most sophisticated therapy session ever recorded. It just happens to take place in the middle of a war. Here's the context. The Mahabharata, one of the longest epics ever written, has been building to this moment for thousands of pages. Two families, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, are about to fight a war for the throne. Arjuna is the greatest warrior of his generation. He spent his entire life preparing for this battle. But the moment he looks across the battlefield, he sees his own family, his teachers, his childhood friends, his grandfather, and he breaks down. His hands shake, his bow slips from his fingers. He tells Krishna, "I can't do this. I would rather die than kill the people I love." This isn't cowardice. This is an existential crisis. Arjuna isn't afraid of death. He's afraid of meaning. If winning requires destroying everything he loves, what's the point of winning? If doing his duty means becoming a murderer, what kind of duty is that? It's the most human moment in all of mythology. And Krishna's response, all 700 verses of it, is the Bhagavad Gita. The first thing Krishna does is something every modern therapist would recognize: cognitive reframing. Arjuna says, "I see my family. Killing them is wrong. Therefore, I should not fight." It seems logical. But Krishna identifies the cognitive distortion. He says, "You are not seeing reality. You are seeing your attachment to a particular outcome. You are so focused on the result, the death of people you love, that you've lost sight of the action itself and its deeper purpose." This is textbook CBT, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy, developed by Aaron Beck in the 1960s. CBT's core principle is that our suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our interpretation of events. Arjuna's interpretation: fighting means killing family. Krishna's reframe: your duty as a warrior exists independent of the outcome. The bodies on this field are temporary. The souls are eternal. Your attachment to the temporary is the source of your suffering, not the battle itself. Whether you believe in eternal souls or not, the psychological principle is identical to what a therapist would say. You are not responding to reality. You are responding to your story about reality. Change the story, and the paralysis dissolves. Krishna's most radical teaching is Nishkama Karma, action without attachment to results. He tells Arjuna, "You have the right to perform your duty. You do not have the right to the fruits of that duty. Do what must be done. Release your grip on the outcome." This sounds like ancient mysticism. It's actually the foundation of acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, developed by Stephen Hayes in the 1980s. ACT's core message is: stop trying to control your feelings and outcomes. Instead, commit to actions aligned with your values, regardless of how they make you feel. A student who studies because they value learning, not to get an A. An artist who creates because they must, not for likes. A parent who does the right thing, not because it guarantees a good outcome, but because it's the right thing. Krishna isn't telling Arjuna to suppress his emotions. He's telling him to act from duty, rather than from the desire to control what happens next. The anxiety, the grief, the fear, they can be there. Just don't let them drive the chariot. That's Krishna's job. Viktor Frankl survived the Holocaust and emerged with a single insight that became logotherapy. Humans can endure any suffering if they find meaning in it. Those who found meaning survived. Those who lost meaning perished, even when their physical conditions were identical. Krishna gives Arjuna meaning, not comfort, not reassurance, not a promise that it will be okay. Meaning, he says, this battle is your Dharma, your unique purpose, the intersection of your abilities, your circumstances, and the world's need. Not fighting would be the greatest sin, because it would mean abandoning the role only you can fill. Frankl would have recognized this instantly. He wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Krishna gives Arjuna the why. The Gita doesn't remove Arjuna's suffering. It transforms suffering into purpose. And that transformation, not the removal of pain, but the infusion of meaning into pain, is what every great therapy ultimately offers. What the Gita offers isn't religion. It's a framework for anyone facing a moment where doing the right thing feels impossible, where every option involves loss, where paralysis feels safer than action. Krishna's prescription, translated into modern terms, is this. First, examine your thoughts. Are you responding to reality or to your catastrophic story about reality? Second, commit to action aligned with your values, not to control the outcome, but because the action itself is what matters. Third, find the meaning. Your struggle isn't random. It's the specific challenge that only your specific combination of skills, experience, and perspective can meet. You are in your chariot. The battle is in front of you. And the question the Gita asks, the question it has asked for 3,500 years, is not, will you win? It's, will you show up? Our PDF guide breaks down the psychology of all 10 Hindu gods, including Krishna's full archetype. Link in the description. Subscribe. New Mythology